Good.
Alright, if you've ever witnessed this screen before, it can actually be caused from your antivirus software. Surprisingly enough, antivirus is good for your computer, but it can lead to malfunctions. Right now, for the next few minutes, I'm actually going to talk about, or tell you why Norton 360 is very bad for your computer, McFee is very bad for your computer, and also Trend. These are actually the top 3 Microsoft antivirus software out there that a lot of people commonly use today. Well, what I'm actually going to persuade you to do now is go out and buy yourself this new ESET smart security system. It's actually been around for well over 10 years. Not many people know about it, but it's actually ranked number 3 in the world. This is actually very good, more or less, just because everything from all the tests that's actually happened on it, from all the VB awards it's actually won, it's outperformed Norton and Mcfee well over. Now for the next few minutes, we're going to ESET Smart Security and also Now 32. My name is Matt Weisler. Some of the things I actually use as a resource, if you ever want to look these things up, is ESET Limited Liability Corporation, Virus Bulletin Limited, AV Comparison Organization, and West Coast Labs. Alright, if you ever load up an antivirus software or whatever, just like the ones you've seen before, got all these bells and whistles and everything else like that coming with it, this is the actual main user mainframe of ESET. Isn't much to it. Protection status, computer scan. Now in your computer scan, you can actually go through it. If you want stuff in the thumb drive, you can scan just that thumb drive or just the RAM of your computer. It's up to you. Now the other thing, update, everything that ESET does is automatic. It does it in its own side program. You never have to do anything, user interface or anything like that, unless you actually want to fully scan your system manually. Everything's automatically 24 hours a day, as long as you keep your computer on or anything else like that, continuously always scans your computer. And it does it with very low minimal ESET values to your RAM. Now, as we're going to talk about ESET values, I don't know if any of you guys much can see this, but as we sit here and go over this, a lot of your programs and stuff like that always want to use your RAM, especially your Norton and everything else like that. So you see, Symantec is Norton antivirus. They actually chews up 200 megabytes of your RAM. So if you have 512 RAM in your computer, 200 megabytes of it is gone just to your antivirus alone. So it means you can only load maybe 3 or 4 applications before you start seeing that blue screen of death. Now, good thing with ESET, it's actually one of the lowest ones on the market that only runs at 100 megabytes a second, or 100 megs of your cached memory. Now the other good thing about ESET too is a lot of it actually doesn't slow down your computer. It never really does. So if you see application start time, minimum of 2 seconds just to load your Internet Explorer. While other antiviruses, if you ever use like McFee or anything else like that, takes up to 4 extra seconds while you try to open up your Internet Explorer. So the things you also want to look at, especially if you have an older computer, the old Pentiums or anything else like that, this is 4 seconds of just normal Pentium 4 HT processor. Now if you have an old Pentium that's running out there, you can probably tack on an extra 15 seconds just to load up your internet browser. Also, your read time, or your boot times. Boot times for a known antivirus can range anywhere from 2 minutes or anything else like that, just to actually fully load your antivirus on your computer from the time you press your power button. ESET, no less than 157 seconds. While other ones are around 3 or 4 minutes actually just to start up your computer and have antivirus fully functioning. Now, if you ever actually want to see what your file scan system is, imagine a computer with no antivirus on it. Sure, it's not going to take no time at all just to load the basic things to actually load on your computer. ESET, no more than 2 seconds to actually finish loading a new software that you probably put on your computer once you actually open it up. While the other programs out there tax on 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds to that boot time of your application. And here's some basic things that everyone actually uses out there: Excel, PowerPoint, Word, Internet Explorer. You see the one on the far right? That's just the basic with no antivirus on your computer. 1, 2 seconds mostly boot time. The only thing that actually tax on time is when you have to go to that Internet Explorer, just because it wants to make sure you're not going to anything unsafe. It tax on that extra 2 seconds. All the other ones out there, McFee and everything else like that, tack on easily 4 seconds to that time of all your software. Now, next thing is actually going to go over is missed wild viruses, especially in this world today. Wild virus is all it is, just random viruses that come out today or tomorrow. New viruses come out day by day, hundreds by hundreds. Well, with the ESET, mostly if it has even a bit of the code that might resemble a virus or anything like that, automatically start sending replications back to ESET manufacturers, and they start pulling it like, hey, this might be a virus. Automatically it pulls that file from its side, and it won't run on your computer. Same thing. Now, if you start looking at Symantec and everything else like that, which is Norton, 29 viruses were actually found on a basic 16, or 60 or more, on a normal day. Now, next thing we're actually going to talk about is VB100 wards. Why is this important? VB was created back in 1989 as a magazine of over viruses and bulletin. And what it goes is it knows every single virus pretty much out there on the market as soon as they can quickly know about it. Well, they keep track of every single virus that's out there. Now, a good thing about this, as a private organization, it's known around the world for a lot of people because every person that creates software antivirus, they want to be part of this VB100 awards, just so they can actually get their software made in production, saying, hey, I got the VB100 award stamp. Now, if we're going to go with some of the VB100 awards, it's actually been going on since 1998, January of 1998. But a lot of people actually didn't ever join the competition until May of 2000 or 1998. Now, if you actually seen, ESET's actually entered this competition. It's well over 56 times it's actually entered the competition, but it's only actually failed since May of 2008, or May of 1998, 2 times. Now, the other one you're actually going to see on there is Semantic. It's entered the thing 51 times, and it's failed 3 times. But between May of 1998 and January 1998, they actually had a lot of entries in between there. Norton's actually failed this competition 8 times. Also, McFee. You're only going to see McFee in here saying it's only failed 14 times. McFee's actually failed 21 times since January of 1998, stating that when VB100 Words puts this test out of like hundreds of viruses out there, it cannot pass 80% of detection of all viruses. While ESET out there still detects well over 97% of all your viruses out there. Also, if you want to look at another way, is a pie graph too, or a line. Look at this. 54 passes out of 56 times that ESET has actually protected your computer or has actually earned the VB100 award. Now, if you ever notice that your computer comes into a hard drive or anything else like that, and your antivirus isn't actually up to date, just because you decided to go out with Norton or Mcfee or something like that, figure maybe that one extra word it didn't win while it's at the VB or something like that, or it only catches 26% of your viruses. One of your viruses could actually come and overclock your computer. Overclocking your computer creates a tremendous heat source, which in return ends up frying your processor that looks like this. Or if you've ever started noticing, right where it says red arrows, those are actually heat portions that's actually melting the plastic in your hard drive. And if you're seeing the keyboard, that's right where your processor normally is on a laptop. So much heat just because a simple virus got through. It starts melting away your keys. So next time you sit there and you start wanting to actually go out and buy a different brand or something like that, I recommend you highly look at ESET just because you might be doing this next time you see your computer.